Magnesium. You wake up tired, but wired. Jaw tight, shoulders creeping up. Your brain feels like it never shut down. You stretch and something cramps. The day hasn't started, but your system is already running hot. Magnesium runs the body's shutdown systems. It lets muscles relax after they contract and keeps nerves from firing nonstop. When it's low, nothing powers down cleanly. Muscles stay half on, nerves keep buzzing. Your body never fully idles. That's why low magnesium shows up as twitching, cramps, restless legs, or that constant tension you can't stretch away. Not sharp pain, background noise that makes you clench without noticing. It often gets labeled as anxiety. Sometimes it's just a nervous system that can't power down. Your brain feels it too. Magnesium sits at NMDA receptors like a gatekeeper, stopping signals from triggering too easily. When levels drop, the gate sticks open, thoughts race, stress hits faster, and sleep stays light. Energy and mood follow because most cellular fuel depends on magnesium. Potassium. You stand up too fast and the room tilts. Your heart thumps once, then settles. Later, your legs feel weak halfway up the stairs. Not sore, just empty. Like the signal didn't fully land. This is how a potassium deficiency can show up. Potassium helps run your body's electrical timing. It keeps signals moving smoothly between nerves and muscles. When levels dip, those signals lose precision. Messages arrive late or half strength. Everything still works, just not cleanly. Muscles feel it first, sudden fatigue and random cramping. Weakness that shows up without warning. Not because the muscle is damaged, but because it can't reset properly after firing. Contraction happens, relaxation lags. This often gets blamed on being out of shape or not drinking enough water. Sometimes it's neither. Sometimes the wiring just needs support. Your heart notices too. Potassium helps keep the rhythm steady. When it's low, skipped beats or that odd awareness of your heartbeat can show up. Reaction time slips, focus fades, electrical signals lose clarity, and everything downstream feels a step behind. Sodium. You feel foggy for no clear reason, lightheaded, a little nauseous. Your head feels full, but your body feels flat. You drink more water, but it doesn't help. Sometimes it makes it worse. This is what a sodium deficiency can quietly look like. Sodium runs fluid balance. It decides where water goes and where it stays. Inside cells, outside cells, in blood, in tissues. When sodium drops too low, water shifts into places it shouldn't, especially into cells. They swell. Signals slow. Pressure changes in ways you can't name, only feel. Low sodium can cause headaches, confusion, trouble focusing, and that vague sense that something is off. Not panic, not pain, just wrong. Thoughts feel heavier. Reaction time slips. This often gets mistaken for dehydration, but adding more water can make it worse. Your muscles notice too. Sodium is what lets a nerve impulse actually start. When levels dip, muscles don't fire cleanly. Weakness, cramps, sudden fatigue during normal activity. Not overuse. A misfiring. Blood pressure can sag. Standing up becomes an event. Dizziness hits and vision narrows for a second. This isn't about salty snacks. It's about fluid balance. You're not dry. You're misallocated. Calcium. You notice it in small ways first. Nails breaking easier. Muscles tightening when they shouldn't. A twitch in your eyelid that keeps coming back. Nothing dramatic, just persistent. A calcium deficiency doesn't show up in bones first. It shows up in signaling. Calcium helps nerves release messages and muscles contract on command. When levels dip, signals get sloppy. Muscles fire too easily or not enough. That's why cramps, spasms, and twitching sneak in. Your nervous system may feel jumpier. Calcium helps stabilize electrical activity in nerves. Low levels lower the threshold for firing. Stress hits harder, and small triggers get big responses. This often gets blamed on caffeine, stress, or being tense. Sometimes it's none of those. Sometimes the signal itself isn't being regulated well. Bones are the long game. When calcium stays low, your body quietly pulls it from bone to keep blood levels steady. You don't feel that trade in real time. You feel it years later as weaker structure. Iron. You feel tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. Walking upstairs feels heavier than it should. Your hands get cold. Focus fades halfway through simple tasks. You assume you're just run down. This is how an iron deficiency often shows up. Iron lets red blood cells carry oxygen. When iron runs low, oxygen delivery drops. Not enough to shut things down, just enough to slow everything. And your muscles notice fast. Less oxygen means less endurance. Movements cost more. You fatigue quicker doing things that used to feel automatic. Your brain feels it too. Oxygen fuels attention, memory, and processing speed. When supply dips, thinking turns foggy and slow. Tasks feel harder than they should. This often gets chalked up to being out of shape or not sleeping enough. Sometimes it's neither. Sometimes oxygen just isn't arriving on time. Your heart compensates. It beats faster to move more blood and cover the gap. That can feel like palpitations or shortness of breath during mild effort. Skin can look pale, nails may thin or crack. Not cosmetic issues, supply issues. High-demand systems are running on limited oxygen. Zinc. Zinc deficiency rarely announces itself. It shows up as delays. You get sick more often. Cuts take longer to heal. Food tastes flatter than it used to. Your skin breaks out for no clear reason. Nothing alarming, just persistent. Zinc runs repair and regulation. It helps immune cells activate, multiply, and clean up damage. When zinc is low, your immune system takes the first hit. Colds show up easily and linger longer. Infections don't feel severe, just stubborn. The defense isn't gone, it's just slow to deploy. This often gets blamed on a weak immune system or bad luck. Sometimes repair just isn't happening on schedule. Skin and tissue notice next. Zinc is required for cell growth and wound healing. Low levels mean slower repair. Cuts close but late. Acne hangs around. Inflammation sticks longer than it should. Your senses feel it too. Zinc supports taste and smell. When levels dip, flavors dull. Appetite shifts. Eating becomes mechanical. Even hormone signaling leans on zinc. When it's low, regulation can slip quietly. Iodine. An iodine deficiency doesn't feel dramatic. It feels slow. You're cold when others aren't. Weight creeps up without changes. Thoughts feel thick, like they're moving through syrup. Energy stays low no matter how much you rest. Iodine is the backbone of thyroid hormones. Those hormones set the speed of your metabolism. How fast cells make energy, heat, and movement. When iodine runs low, thyroid output drops. The entire system downshifts. Body temperature is usually the early sign. Heat production declines. Hands and feet stay cold. Layers don't seem to help. Your brain slows next. Thyroid hormones regulate attention, memory, and processing speed. When levels dip, thinking feels dull and effortful. Words come slower. Decisions take longer. This often gets brushed off as being cold-natured, stressed, or low energy. Sometimes the thermostat itself is set just too low. Digestion follows. Gut movement slows. Constipation becomes common. Food sits longer than it should. Hair and skin feel it too. Hair thins, skin dries. Not surface problems, metabolic ones. The body is running in low power mode because the signal that sets its pace is missing. Selenium. A selenium deficiency doesn't slow you down all at once. It shows up in recovery. You get sick and stay sick longer. Stress hits harder and mental fatigue lingers after things that used to roll off. Selenium supports the body's cleanup and defense systems. It's built into enzymes that help manage everyday wear from normal metabolism, illness, and inflammation. When selenium runs low, that cleanup falls behind. Your immune system feels it early. Selenium helps immune responses stay effective without dragging on. Low levels mean slower recovery. Infections linger. Inflammation overstays. This often gets mistaken for burnout or needing more rest. Sometimes recovery just isn't keeping pace. The thyroid relies on selenium too. It helps turn thyroid hormones into their usable form. When levels dip, metabolic signaling loses efficiency even when iodine intake seems fine. Your brain feels it under stress. Selenium helps protect mental stamina. When it's missing, focus fades faster and fatigue sets in sooner. The system still runs. The cleanup crew just can't keep up. Copper. You notice it when things don't quite line up. Nothing urgent, just off. Energy dips at random. You feel weaker than you should. Cuts take longer to heal. Hair and skin start acting different. This can happen with a copper deficiency because copper helps iron actually get used. Without it, iron can sit there doing nothing, even if intake looks fine. Oxygen delivery falls a step behind. Fatigue shows up without a clear cause. Your nerves notice too. Copper helps maintain the coating that keeps nerve signals moving smoothly. When levels dip, signals lose sharpness. Coordination feels less crisp and reflexes aren't as snappy. This often looks like low iron that doesn't improve. Sometimes iron is there, but copper is what helps it get used. Energy production takes another hit. Copper helps turn fuel into usable energy, so when it's low, output drops and tiredness builds even when sleep and food are fine. Skin and connective tissue feel it too. Copper supports repair and structure, so when it's missing, upkeep slows. Nothing crashes. Systems just lose precision. Chromium. This one shows up as frustration. You eat, then crash. You snack, then crash again. Energy spikes, drops, repeats. Hunger feels random. Focus comes in waves. Nothing adds up. Chromium helps insulin do its job. It makes cells listen to the signal. Glucose is here. Use it. When chromium runs low, that message gets ignored. Sugar lingers in blood. Cells stay hungry. You feel energy swings. Quick bursts, sudden drops, cravings that don't match what you just ate. Not lack of discipline. Fuel delivery fails. Your brain notices too. Glucose is its main fuel. Uneven supply means focus wobbles, sharp one moment, sluggish the next. Appetite regulation gets noisy. Hunger cues misfire even when energy's technically there. Fuel arrives late, leaves early, never syncing with demand. That's chromium deficiency's quiet signal. Most of this gets ignored because it doesn't look dramatic. It just feels off. If this clarified what your body's been quietly signaling, hit like and subscribe. Next up, we're breaking down which brain supplements actually work.